We have just seen the equipment needed to learn pattern making. Now we are going to look at the measurements and the various sizes to understand what they are corresponding to. First, you will download the size table on my website Anya Camau Academy and print it out. The document is including several columns. On the left side, you will find a list of the various measurements of the body that we'll use along this course. The other columns are the values of the measurements according to the sizes. The blue column shows out the measurement of French 38 size, all in centimeter. This size is traditionally the one in which the patterns are produced for a fashion collection. These are the measurements that will be used throughout this course. Later on, if you plan to work in another size, you will only need to change the measurements, which is rather easy to do. At home, I advise you to work with an adjustable sewing mannequin that can be adjusted in 38 size with measurements very close to my table values. The measurements can be smaller, but never larger. If you buy a non-adjustable form in 38 size, you will have better results, but this mannequin can be expensive and will not allow you to work in another size. An adjustable sewing mannequin will easily allow you to work later on with sizes ranging from 36 to 42 approximately. There are also large sizes, children and teen sizes, men's sizes, but we will first learn how to make a pattern for a woman. Some information on these sizes. Where do they come from? These measurements are determined using statistics published by fashion professionals and updated every 5 years or so. This table reflects statistically the most common sizes in France. There are also variations in size between European countries, Italy having smaller sizes and Germany or Scandinavia having larger sizes. These differences also reflect cultural differences. In France, it's therefore 38 size, which represents the average of all French women of all ages. Although, of course, there's a large number of women who are not fitting a 38 size. There, I don't want to fuel the controversy of large sizes versus small sizes. I just want to teach you the techniques of flat patterning and draping. Now we are going to learn using 38 size measurements, which until now is the basic size of ready-to-wear. I'm going to show you on the mannequin where the measurements are to give you a good understanding of these measurements. Take the document you downloaded and print it out to follow these explanations. The first measurement here is the back waist length that lies along the back between the waist, which we will materialize later, and the neckline vertically. This measurement can vary a lot because a person can hold himself forward with a round back or she can stand back with an arched back. This is a measurement that often needs to be corrected according to the person if you work upon special measurements or if you dress a model for a fashion show. The front waist length is its equivalent on the front of a mannequin. It starts at the bottom of the neckline, at the bottom of a hollow between the two clavicles, and goes down to the waist. The waist is a horizontal measurement located where the bust is the thinnest and usually does not pass through the navel. The bust is the horizontal measurement that passes through the nipples of the breasts while wearing a bra. That is where the bust is the largest. Another measurement is the bust length. This length is the measurement between the lower front neckline, the hollow between the two clavicles, and the right nipple while wearing a bra. Even if a person does not have the same measurement on each side, we will use the same measurement for both sides. Then you can find in the list the half apex point value. This is the distance between the two nipples, so the half apex point value is the half of this measurement. The waist measurement is the measurement of the body at the thinnest part of it, as I told you earlier. We now come to small hip and full hip measurement. The full hip is the widest part of lower body, but is not the thigh measurement, that is to say about here on me, a little above the femur. According to ready-to-wear sizes, the statistical measurement of full hip is taken horizontally 22 cm below the waistline. This is statistically the location where the hip is the largest. Now we are going to define where is set the small hip. This is measured at the tip of the hip bone, just below the waist. Statistically, this measurement is horizontal and 9 cm below the waistline. We are going to materialize all these measurements on the mannequin in my next video, don't worry. Then you find the half neckline measurement. It's therefore located at the neckline. The half neckline goes around the neckline from the front middle to the back middle of the neck. Here we will work only with half measurements as well. The list then indicates half cross front and half cross back measurements. The latter is defined in the back between the bust and the neckline. Exactly at half distance and horizontally. This measurement is very important because when you move your arms forward, you need more fabric to keep the garment from tearing. This is the crossback. There you must set enough fabric to allow arms to move forward. At the same height horizontally on the front side, there's the cross front line. There, at the front of the body, there is no need for more fabric because you usually do not stretch your arms backward, but it's nevertheless necessary that the garment is comfortable and you must avoid setting too much fabric, which would not be aesthetic. This measurement is used to set the line of the armhole circumference. The next measure is the shoulder length, which starts from the neckline above the shoulder and ends at the tip of the shoulder, that is where the sleeve is attached to the body. Then the armhole, which I show you out on myself, because the mannequin has no arms, is the measurement that begins at the tip of the shoulder and will go all the way around the arm to the tip of the shoulder again. This measurement is important to feel comfortable wearing the garment, because it's very unpleasant to be tied there. The person must feel free to move with his arms. The next measurement is the waist to underarm length. This measurement goes from the waist up to below the arm along the side. On myself, it goes from here and goes up to there. This measurement is always difficult to take on a person because it's difficult to know where it stops under the arm. A good way to set this underarm point is to set it 2.5 cm above the bust line along the side line. Arm length and arm circumference are used to make patterns of the sleeves. The arm length is the length of your sleeve. This measurement is not taken with an extending arm, but with a slightly bent arm like this. When you bend the arm while taking this measurement, the sleeve is long enough to stay down the arm when you move it. It's therefore with this position of the arm that this length is measured. The circumference of the arm is the measurement of the biceps circumference at its largest point. It's an important value if you make a fitted garment in a non-stretch fabric, because the person must be able to move comfortably. The elbow length is the distance along the side of the arm between the tip of the shoulder and the tip of the elbow. The wrist circumference is the measurement you use when you buy a watch strap. Now we will see the latest measurements that are used for pants. We have previously seen waist to full hip length with a statistical value of 22 cm. The next measure is the riser measurement. To get this measurement, it's necessary that the person is seated, so I sit down to show you how. Then you have to measure between the waistline and the chair itself. This measurement is therefore greater than the waist to full hip length, with additional 3 to 4 cm. This measurement shows where the legs start. Then you have the crotch measurement, which is the length measured between the middle front and middle back through the crotch. This measurement is therefore important to get comfortable pants. Now we have measurements that are used to pattern pants and long dresses as well. The waist to floor length and waist to knee length are both easy to locate on the body. And the last one, since the waist is not a horizontal line, as we will see in my next videos, there's also the waist to floor length along the side. Here are all the measures you can find in this table.